Men over 60 eat this in the morning to boost circulation down there. Dr. Rachel Ross. If your manhood has quietly ceased to function with the vigor it once possessed, if your mornings are now marked by a dispiriting silence, your once unwavering confidence has begun to erode, and you find yourself utterly weary of the exhausting pretense that none of this truly troubles you, then I implore you to lend your attention closely. What I am poised to unveil may very well astonish you, perhaps even profoundly shock you, fundamentally altering your perception of what's possible and what healing truly entails for the male body. For over 3 decades, I, Dr. Rachel Ross, have dedicated my career as a men's health specialist, treating thousands of men navigating the complexities of aging, particularly those beyond the age of 60. Through this extensive clinical experience, I've unearthed a profound truth, a single critical factor that has been most egregiously overlooked as the root cause of weakening erections. It is not, contrary to popular belief and relentless marketing, predominantly about diminishing testosterone levels. Instead, the overwhelming culprit is undeniably poor blood flow, and the remedy, the genuine solution, is not encapsulated within a little blue pill, nor does it demand the purchase of an expensive, complicated medical device. It's not even found in a complex cocktail of costly supplements. The astonishing reality is that it involves nothing more than a simple, humble vegetable, readily available, which, when incorporated into your morning routine, can, within a remarkably short span of days, reignite your systemic circulation, revitalize your energy reserves, and begin to restore the very essence of your manhood to its former glory. In this comprehensive discussion, I will meticulously guide you through a potent natural solution, one that is not only robustly supported by contemporary science, but has also been unequivocally trusted by a multitude of real patients, proving its efficacy time and again. This solution, moreover, possesses the immense advantage of being effortlessly accessible in virtually every single grocery store across the nation. This is because from the moment you consciously decide to inaugurate your morning with this particular unassuming food, a cascade of profound physiological transformations begins to unfold throughout your entire being. Your blood pressure, which may have been stubbornly high, starts to stabilize towards healthier ranges. Your body's production of nitric oxide, a critical signaling molecule, experiences a significant and beneficial surge. Consequently, oxygen-rich blood begins to flow with newfound efficiency and purpose, reaching precisely where it is most crucially needed, including, and perhaps most importantly, to the sensitive tissues down there. This vital piece of information, regrettably, remains unknown to the vast majority of men, a silence that contributes to unnecessary suffering and a pervasive sense of hopelessness. Therefore, I earnestly urge you to remain with me through every word until the very conclusion of this message, for I will not only explain with absolute clarity the intricate mechanisms of how this natural wonder operates within your body, but also precisely how to integrate it into your life and why such an overwhelming number of men witness tangible, life-altering results in as little as 7 days. Before we fully immerse ourselves in the intricate details of this transformative method, I encourage you to take a brief moment to subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell. By doing so, you will ensure that you never overlook another invaluable tip or insight designed to empower you to reclaim your inherent strength, boundless energy, and unshakable confidence. And if the profound resonance of this message speaks directly to your current experience or deepest aspirations, a simple gesture, typing 1 into the comments section, will let me know. Conversely, if you feel this doesn't quite align, typing 0 will provide me with crucial feedback, enabling me to refine my approach and serve your needs more effectively in the future. Now, let us embark upon the journey to uncover the true, often forgotten reason why so many men, particularly those advancing beyond the age of 60, grapple with increasingly weaker erections, and why this challenge is far more intrinsically linked to the dynamics of blood flow than to the fluctuations of testosterone. Let me begin by shedding light on a fundamental truth that, astonishingly, most men never encounter in their lives. You won't hear it from your family physician during a routine checkup, nor will it be casually discussed among your circle of friends, and it is certainly absent from the glossy, often misleading advertisements that dominate television screens. Yet, throughout my distinguished 3-decade tenure as a dedicated men's health physician, this insight has emerged as one of the most monumentally important revelations I have ever had the privilege to discern. The pervasive notion that erections simply vanish or inevitably weaken after the age of 60 solely because one is getting older is, quite frankly, a deeply ingrained myth, a convenient but ultimately inaccurate oversimplification that sidesteps the real, addressable problem. The authentic underlying reason is far more specific and, thankfully, addressable. Your body's intricate circulatory system, specifically the blood, is simply no longer moving with the optimal efficiency and vigor it once did. I have borne witness to countless good men, strong men, men who have dedicated their entire lives to arduous work and responsibility, sitting across from me in my office, their gazes meeting mine with a palpable sense of resignation, often uttering words like, "Doc, I genuinely believe I'm just past my prime. My body is failing me." And with every ounce of professional conviction and personal empathy, I meet their gaze and respond unequivocally, "No, that is not the case. Your prime, your innate capacity for strength and vitality, remains very much within you. What has, regrettably, been neglected is your circulation, not the fundamental integrity of your manhood." You see, the intricate and awe-inspiring ability to both achieve and steadfastly maintain an erection is fundamentally contingent upon the seamless operation of one profoundly vital system within your body: robust blood flow. More precisely, it hinges on the dynamic, unimpeded surge of oxygen-rich blood into the extraordinarily delicate, microscopic vessels that intricately permeate the penile tissue. This crucial, life-giving flow is, in turn, powerfully propelled by a remarkable gaseous molecule that your body naturally and continuously produces, a substance known as nitric oxide. During the vibrant years of your youth, your nitric oxide levels were consistently abundant, a physiological hallmark that explains why everything functioned with such remarkable speed, effortless ease, and often with barely a conscious thought or exertion whatsoever. However, as the natural progression of time takes its course and men pass beyond the threshold of 60, these critical nitric oxide levels experience a precipitous decline, often plummeting by more than a staggering 70%. Concurrently, your arteries, those vital conduits of life, gradually begin to lose their inherent elasticity, becoming increasingly stiff and less pliable. The delicate inner lining of your blood vessels, an exquisitely engineered layer known as the endothelium, unfortunately becomes significantly less responsive to the signals that once commanded vasodilation. As a direct and unavoidable consequence of these cumulative age-related changes, the powerful, engorging surge of blood that once effortlessly filled your penis, transforming it into a state of rigid expansion, akin to a balloon rapidly inflating, now diminishes to a mere disappointing trickle. It is imperative to understand that you are not fundamentally broken or beyond repair. Rather, your body, with its innate wisdom, is simply sending out a clear, urgent plea for assistance, for specific, targeted support. And here lies the profoundly poignant aspect of this truth, the part that resonates so deeply and emotionally with the myriad of my patients. This insidious physiological change does not merely impact your physical performance. Its tendrils extend much deeper, insidiously eroding your self-confidence, diminishing your core sense of self, and even subtly, yet significantly straining the emotional and intimate connections you share with your beloved partner. The most cruel and disheartening facet of this pervasive issue is that the vast majority of men are never informed that this condition is, in fact, entirely fixable. But I assure you, it is not only fixable, but remarkably so, through methods far more natural, enduring, and profoundly sustainable than you could ever possibly envision. Because whether you find it immediately believable or not, there exists a straightforward, unassuming vegetable, one that you can effortlessly consume each and every morning, possessing the intrinsic capacity to profoundly assist your body in the miraculous process of rebuilding its depleted nitric oxide reserves, and in doing so, effectively restarting the powerful engine that underpins your robust erections, your boundless energy, and your entire circulatory vitality. In the ensuing moments, I will meticulously reveal precisely what this extraordinary vegetable is and illuminate why its inherent power far surpasses that of most pharmaceutical pills currently saturating the market. When I first stumbled upon the truly remarkable, almost unbelievable power encased within this unassuming vegetable, I must, in all candor, admit to a profound initial skepticism. This skepticism wasn't born from a disbelief in the ancient yet eternally wise philosophy of food as medicine, a principle I deeply champion and integrate into my practice. Rather, it stemmed from the sheer, bewildering simplicity of the solution itself. Could something so utterly ordinary, so universally accessible, and so incredibly inexpensive truly possess the capacity to effect such a monumental difference in the intricate way blood flows to the most exquisitely vital and intimately cherished parts of a man's body? The question lingered, a challenge to my conventional medical training, pushing the boundaries of what I thought possible. But then, almost imperceptibly at first, I began to observe the undeniable, transformative results unfolding before my very eyes. And it wasn't just my own clinical observations. The feedback from my patients became a resounding chorus of affirmation. Men in their late 60s, robust 70s, and even venerable early 80s, men who had previously reported years of sexual dysfunction and systemic fatigue, were returning to my office after a mere few weeks of consistent use, their faces alight with an almost youthful exuberance, uttering phrases that brought tears of joy to my eyes. "Dr. Ross," they would exclaim, "I woke up firm again. For the first time in what feels like an eternity, I felt truly ready, just like I used to." And the singular, profound change they had implemented into their daily existence was nothing more complex than integrating this one miraculous food into their cherished morning routine. The vegetable I speak of with such reverence and excitement is none other than beetroot. Yes, beets. That often underestimated, deep crimson root vegetable that frequently finds itself relegated to the forgotten corners of dinner plates or languishing at the bottom of a salad bar, overshadowed by more glamorous ingredients. Yet, profoundly embedded within the humble, earthy flesh of that vegetable is an absolutely critical compound, a nutritional powerhouse that your aging body desperately craves and fundamentally needs: dietary nitrate. When you mindfully consume beets, your body possesses an extraordinary physiological alchemy, converting those ingested nitrates into precious nitric oxide. This is the very same gaseous messenger that performs the crucial biological function of signaling your arteries to gently yet firmly relax, to dilate, to open up, and, in doing so, to allow life-sustaining blood to flow with unhindered freedom and renewed vigor throughout your entire vascular network. What truly renders this effect so utterly remarkable is the astounding precision and targeted nature of its benefits. The resultant increase in robust blood flow doesn't merely bestow advantages upon your heart or enhance cognitive function in your brain, though it undeniably accomplishes both of those vital feats. Crucially, it specifically and significantly improves circulation to your entire pelvic region, extending its restorative reach to encompass the delicate, sponge-like cavernous tissue nestled within your penis, the very tissue that dynamically fills with blood and majestically expands during moments of sexual arousal, facilitating a firm and sustainable erection. For older men, for whom the challenges of waning vitality can often feel overwhelming, this is, quite literally, everything. You are not simply ameliorating your capacity to achieve and maintain an erection. You are, far more profoundly, actively nourishing and rebuilding the entire intricate system that intrinsically supports your overall vitality, invigorates your energy levels, and fundamentally bolsters your core sense of self-confidence. And there is another narrative I feel compelled to share with you, a deeply personal and illustrative anecdote. Years ago, I had the profound privilege of working closely with a distinguished gentleman named Charles. He was 71 years of age, a retired engineer by profession, a man of quiet dignity who had, heartbreakingly, not experienced a full, natural erection in well over a year. We implemented one singularly simple, yet utterly transformative, change into his daily regimen. We instructed him to commence each morning with a modest glass of freshly prepared beet juice, just 6 ounces. That was the entirety of the intervention. By the end of the second week, Charles contacted me, his voice brimming with raw emotion, almost trembling with a mixture of disbelief and elation. He declared, "Dr. Ross, I feel like myself again." In that singular heartfelt moment, a profound realization solidified within me. This wasn't merely an abstract theoretical concept. It was a living, breathing, undeniable reality that had transformed a life. Now, you might naturally wonder what precisely transpires within the intricate sanctuary of your body when you consume beets. How exactly does that dietary nitrate undergo its metabolic metamorphosis into nitric oxide, subsequently restoring robust, life-affirming blood flow precisely where it is most urgently and intimately required? Let us meticulously deconstruct this fascinating biochemical journey, and you will come to appreciate why the meticulous consideration of both timing and preparation carries far more weight and significance than you might initially surmise. Indeed, you might find yourself pondering, with a touch of understandable skepticism, how a food as seemingly commonplace and unassuming as a simple beet can genuinely possess the profound capacity to restore the vigorous blood flow you once enjoyed in your younger years. I confess, I once posed that very same question to myself, wrestling with the apparent simplicity of the solution. However, once you grasp the intricate and miraculous cascade of events that transpire within your physiological landscape, the pieces of the puzzle begin to align with perfect clarity, and the entire process takes on an undeniable logical coherence. And frankly, to witness this biochemical marvel unfold, even conceptually, is akin to observing a slow-motion miracle meticulously weaving its wonders just beneath the surface of your skin. Here is the fascinating sequence of what transpires when you consciously choose to incorporate beets into your diet. You are not merely assimilating the familiar benefits of dietary fiber or a rich array of potent antioxidants, though those nutritional contributions are undoubtedly valuable. Far more significantly, you are furnishing your body with a direct, readily available source of dietary nitrates. And these precious nitrates serve as the fundamental raw material, the biochemical building blocks that your body expertly utilizes to synthesize that extraordinary signaling molecule we've discussed, nitric oxide. It is an invisible, silent gas, yet it orchestrates one of the most profoundly powerful and indispensable roles within your intricate vascular system. Nitric oxide, in its essence, acts as a benevolent messenger, communicating with your blood vessels and instructing them to relax, to relinquish their constricting tension. It delivers a clear, unequivocal directive to your arteries. Open up. Allow the life-giving blood to flow freely and abundantly. This, precisely, is the critical physiological signal that your body, particularly as it ages, has been desperately yearning for, and often critically missing. The journey of this transformation commences subtly, yet powerfully, within the confines of your mouth. As you rhythmically chew the beet, an indispensable consortium of friendly bacteria residing naturally upon the surface of your tongue initiates the crucial preliminary step. They begin the enzymatic conversion of the ingested nitrates into nitrites. Subsequently, as you complete the act of swallowing, these newly formed nitrites continue their journey into your stomach and then into your bloodstream, where the remarkable biological process culminates, finally transforming them into the coveted nitric oxide. Remarkably, within a mere matter of minutes, many individuals report experiencing a subtle yet perceptible lightness, an enhanced sense of clarity, and an overall feeling of improved oxygenation permeating their entire system. And with steadfast consistency over time, this initial sensation blossoms into a more robust and enduring reality, significantly stronger blood flow, not exclusively directed to your vital heart and intelligent brain, but crucially to your lower body, that anatomical region where many men, with a sigh of resignation, first begin to feel the inexorable march of the years catching up to them. I have heard countless men share their stories with me, their voices tinged with a past despair, recounting, "Doc, I honestly thought I was done. I genuinely believed the most vibrant, fulfilling part of my life was irrevocably behind me. Yet, after a mere 2 weeks of dedicatedly consuming morning beet juice, these same men are contacting me again, their tones now vibrant with renewed hope and enthusiasm, eagerly reporting that they feel demonstrably sharper mentally, possess significantly more sustained energy throughout their day, and yes, are unequivocally more responsive and virile in their most intimate moments." This profound transformation, it must be emphasized, transcends the realm of mere sexual performance. It delves into the very core of identity. It speaks to the empowering sensation of waking each morning with the profound reassurance that your body still listens to you, that it still dynamically responds to your inner commands and desires. And here is an even more exhilarating facet of this beet-induced marvel. Beets do not merely assist with the vital flow of blood, they actively undertake the crucial task of protecting your delicate blood vessels from the insidious ravages of damage. They effectively mitigate and reduce systemic inflammation, and, over consistent use, they can even contribute significantly to lowering elevated blood pressure. This implies a far grander scope of benefit. They are not simply patching a single isolated problem, they are fundamentally fortifying and comprehensively strengthening your entire cardiovascular foundation, erecting a bulwark against the forces of aging and fostering overall systemic health. However, for this extraordinary cascade of benefits to manifest in its full transformative glory, it is absolutely essential that you possess the precise knowledge of how to utilize beets in the optimal manner. The precise timing of their consumption, the specific method of preparation, and even the combination of foods you choose to ingest alongside them can profoundly influence, either making or breaking, the ultimate efficacy of your results. Therefore, permit me now to meticulously illustrate exactly how to seamlessly integrate beets into your morning routine, and, critically, how to extract the absolute maximum potential from every single nourishing bite or sip. There is an undeniable visceral power inherent in witnessing abstract scientific principles materialize into tangible, life-altering realities, not solely confined to the sterile pages of clinical trials or the academic confines of medical textbooks, but dramatically unfolding within the lives of real, breathing human beings. And I can declare with unreserved honesty, some of the most profoundly gratifying and emotionally rewarding moments throughout my entire professional career have been those instances when I hear the quiet yet unmistakably triumphant resurgence of hope within a man's voice, a voice that, moments before, might have been laden with despair as he utters those 4 simple yet monumental words: "Doc, it's working." Allow me to share the compelling narrative of Mr. Anderson. He was 67 years old when he first sought my professional counsel. A retired teacher, he presented as a soft-spoken, inherently proud individual, yet one whose demeanor was unmistakably burdened by an unspoken weight, a silent sorrow that pressed heavily upon him. He confided in me that he had not experienced a full, genuinely natural erection in an agonizing period exceeding 8 months. There was no longer any trace of morning stiffness, no spontaneous arousal that felt genuinely complete or satisfying. This distressing reality, he admitted, was insidiously beginning to affect the cherished intimacy within his marriage, casting a shadow over what had once been a vibrant connection. But more profoundly than that, it was fundamentally reshaping how he perceived himself, eroding his very sense of identity. With a profound sense of vulnerability, he confessed, test, I feel as though my own body is betraying me, and I possess absolutely no idea how to effectively fight back against this perceived decline. We engaged in a thorough, empathetic discussion about the intricate dynamics of blood flow, the critical role of nitric oxide, and the undeniable influence of dietary choices on overall men's health. And then I proposed a remarkably simple, almost deceptively straightforward intervention. I merely requested that he initiate each of his mornings with a modest half cup of freshly prepared beet juice. That was the entirety of my initial recommendation. No complex, potentially side effect-laden prescriptions were issued, no overt pressure was exerted, merely a quiet, personal commitment to himself and his own well-being. After an interval of approximately 2 weeks, his call reached my office. His voice, distinctly lighter, almost incredulous with surprise and exhilaration, resonated through the phone. He recounted, "Dr. Ross, I awoke this morning, and there it was, not weak, not partial, but solid, unmistakably firm, and I didn't require anything extra, any external aid, to make it manifest. It happened naturally." I could palpably discern the profound resurgence of pride in his voice, the reclaiming of his inherent dignity. This transformation, I realized, transcended the realm of mere physical performance. It was fundamentally about a profound return to wholeness, a feeling of being fully alive again, connected to his body as he once was. Mr. Anderson's profoundly moving story is, by no means, an isolated anomaly. I have witnessed this inspiring narrative unfold time and time again in the lives of men from all walks of life. Plumbers, meticulous accountants, courageous veterans, revered pastors, men who had, with a heavy heart, consigned their best years to the past, only to discover, with the smallest measure of consistent support and self-care, that their bodies still possessed a remarkable capacity to give, to respond, to flourish. What I fervently wish for you to internalize from these powerful accounts is this unequivocal truth: you are not beyond help. Your magnificent body has not abandoned you. It is merely awaiting the precise signal, the appropriate and nurturing support. And when that signal arrives, delivered through something as deceptively simple yet profoundly effective as a daily glass of beet juice, it serves as a powerful, humbling reminder of just how inherently intelligent, resilient, and responsive the male body truly is. However, as I articulated previously, the efficacy of this approach is not solely predicated upon the beet itself. Crucially, it hinges upon the precise manner and optimal timing of its utilization. Therefore, let us now meticulously explore exactly how to prepare and consume this revitalizing elixir each morning to fully unleash its formidable, life-enhancing potential. The element of timing is truly everything, and the forthcoming insights will meticulously illuminate precisely why this is the case. If there is one profound lesson that has been indelibly imprinted upon me throughout my extensive years dedicated to assisting older men in the arduous yet incredibly rewarding journey of restoring their health and vitality, it is this immutable truth: the seemingly inconspicuous factors of timing and unwavering consistency possess the power to make an absolute, categorical difference in the outcomes. You could conceivably possess the perfect food, the most ideal constellation of essential nutrients, and the purest, most earnest intention. Yet, if you employ them in an inappropriate manner or at an inopportune moment, you will inevitably fall short of unlocking the full, magnificent potential that your body is inherently capable of manifesting. And this principle holds especially and profoundly true when it comes to the strategic integration of beets. Now, I fully comprehend that for some men, the mere mention of embarking upon a new routine can evoke a sense of trepidation or overwhelming complexity. They might mistakenly believe that they are obligated to orchestrate an entire nocturnal overhaul of their habits or to painstakingly prepare elaborate, time-consuming meals. Yet the refreshing truth is that the most efficacious pathway to extracting the absolute maximum benefit from beets is, in fact, remarkably and elegantly simple. And once you begin to truly feel the profound, life-affirming changes it initiates within your body, you will find yourself naturally, almost almost instinctively compelled to perpetuate this beneficial practice. The morning, unequivocally, represents the golden window of opportunity for this intervention. It is during these early hours that your natural testosterone levels typically reach their diurnal zenith. Your intricate blood vessels are operating at their peak responsiveness, and your entire body is physiologically primed to efficiently absorb and intelligently utilize incoming nutrients. The deliberate act of consuming beets on an empty stomach, or by intentionally drinking beet juice as the very first act of your day, facilitates an immensely more efficient conversion of those invaluable dietary nitrates into that pivotal signaling molecule, nitric oxide. I have observed a striking disparity in results among my patients. Men who have attempted to ingest beets later in the day or subsequent to a heavy digestion-demanding breakfast consistently report a dramatically diminished response compared to those who adhere to the morning protocol. The difference is, quite literally, like night and day. So, here is my precise and well-considered recommendation. Begin by incorporating a modest half cup of gently roasted beet slices into your morning repast, or alternatively, blend a small, fresh beet into a nourishing morning smoothie, perhaps with a handful of berries for added antioxidants. For those individuals who prioritize convenience without compromising efficacy, a single scoop of a high-quality, reputable beetroot powder dissolved in warm water can achieve the desired effect with comparable potency. The key takeaway is not the quantity, but the unwavering regularity. What truly matters is that you commit to this practice daily, consistently, and crucially, prior to consuming your first substantial meal of the day. There is one additional, often overlooked, yet profoundly important detail that I invariably share with all my patients. Conscientiously avoid brushing your teeth immediately before or directly after consuming beets. While this instruction might initially strike you as somewhat peculiar or counterintuitive, it is rooted in sound physiological understanding. The beneficial bacteria residing naturally within your oral cavity play an utterly indispensable role in initiating the preliminary yet critical process of converting those dietary nitrates into nitrites. If you employ potent antiseptic mouthwashes or engage in vigorous toothbrushing too prematurely, you risk inadvertently eradicating or significantly diminishing these crucial bacterial allies, thereby obstructing the very biochemical reaction that your body urgently requires to effectively boost its blood flow. It is precisely these seemingly minor, intricate details that transform a merely good health habit into an unequivocally great one. And even a few additional millimeters of optimized blood flow can signify an immeasurable difference when it comes to reclaiming your self-assured confidence, revitalizing your sustained energy levels, and profoundly enhancing the richness of your intimate connections. However, as extraordinarily potent and beneficial as beets demonstrably are, they are not, it must be stated unequivocally, a magical panacea. They require a conducive internal environment to exert their full transformative effects. And lamentably, many men unwittingly and inadvertently sabotage their potential results. Each morning, by injudiciously combining beets with incongruous or detrimental food choices. In the subsequent section, I will meticulously reveal precisely what culinary elements to scrupulously avoid and illuminate the surprising yet common breakfast mistakes that may be silently yet powerfully impeding your progress and holding you back from achieving the desired revitalization. It is remarkably easy to concentrate one's efforts solely on what new elements to proactively incorporate into a routine: the vibrant beet juice, the dedicated morning regimen, the various circulation-boosting practices. However, throughout my extensive professional tenure, I have arrived at a profound realization. What you consciously choose to remove from your mornings can hold an equally, if not demonstrably greater, significance than what you actively decide to include. You see, I have encountered numerous patients who, with a note of genuine perplexity and disappointment in their voices, would report, "Dr. Ross, I am diligently consuming the beet juice precisely as you instructed, yet I am not observing any significant or discernible changes." Upon conducting a more thorough and investigative inquiry, we would almost invariably uncover that their existing breakfast habits were subtly yet powerfully working at cross purposes with their efforts. Foods they had previously regarded as innocuous or even commendably healthy were, in actuality, insidiously narrowing their vital arteries, provoking systemic inflammation within their delicate blood vessels, and effectively blunting the very nitric oxide boost we were so earnestly striving to achieve. One of the most egregious culprits in this morning's sabotage is, without question, processed breakfast meats. The ubiquitous bacon, the savory sausage, the convenient deli ham. These foods are not only laden with excessive sodium, which is notorious for its vasoconstrictive properties, but also bristling with an array of preservatives that directly contribute to the constriction of blood vessels and a consequent reduction in crucial circulation to your pelvic region. Then there are the omnipresent refined carbohydrates, the soft white toast, the tempting muffins, the delectable pastries. These items instigate rapid and dramatic spikes in your insulin levels, which subsequently trigger detrimental crashes in your body's delicate hormonal balance, including, critically, your testosterone. Furthermore, an overzealous consumption of caffeine on an empty stomach can significantly elevate cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, which itself contributes to the tightening of blood vessels, thereby rendering the physiological processes necessary for arousal considerably more challenging. Now, let me be explicitly clear. I am not asserting that you can never again indulge in these particular foods. However, if your paramount objective is to genuinely restore your manhood, to truly bestow upon your body an optimal fighting chance at rejuvenation, then the inaugural hour of your day must be conscientiously dedicated to supporting the intricate processes of healing rather than inadvertently impeding them. Instead of instinctively reaching for processed meats, consider a more nourishing alternative, such as a perfectly boiled egg or a small, satiating handful of nutrient-dense nuts, perhaps almonds or walnuts. In lieu of sugary toast or a bowl of processed cereal, perhaps opt for a slice of creamy avocado atop a piece of wholesome whole-grain bread. These types of nutrient-rich foods harmonize exquisitely with beets. They provide a vital array of healthy fats, essential vitamins, and crucial minerals that work synergistically to nourish your blood vessels, bolstering their integrity and flexibility, and simultaneously supporting a robust hormonal balance throughout your system. When you consciously enact this profound shift, meticulously removing the elements that serve to clog and compromise your delicate system and replacing them with foods that actively nourish, protect, and revitalize, your body, with its inherent intelligence, responds in a truly remarkable fashion. The blood begins to flow with newfound vigor. A comforting warmth gradually returns to regions that once felt cold and unresponsive. And for an innumerable number of men, that first spontaneously natural erection, manifesting after weeks or even months of despair, feels nothing short of life itself breathing back into their very sense of identity, a profound reaffirmation of self. But the significance of timing extends far beyond the mere selection of food. It is intrinsically interwoven with the very fabric of human biology. There is a compelling and fundamental reason why I consistently advocate for the implementation of all these practices specifically in the morning, rather than deferring them to later in the day. This is because a singularly powerful physiological and psychological phenomenon unfolds within your body each morning, rendering it the absolutely perfect temporal window within which to proactively rebuild your strength and restore your vitality. And in the subsequent discussion, I will meticulously elucidate precisely why the timing of your morning habits possesses the extraordinary capacity to fundamentally alter everything. Throughout my cumulative years of observing and guiding patients, I have discerned a singularly powerful and transformative pattern consistently manifested by men who wholeheartedly commit to deliberate morning habits, particularly those who have gracefully navigated beyond the age of 60. It is not merely that their bodies exhibit a superior physiological responsiveness during these early hours, though that is undeniably a profound and well-documented truth. More fundamentally, these mornings evolve into a kind of quiet, yet monumental turning point, a profound act of reclaiming, a sacred moment where, instead of passively allowing the chaotic demands of the day to dictate their emotional and physical state, they consciously elect to proactively set the tone for their entire day with an unwavering sense of strength, a renewed sense of purpose, and an intentional commitment to deep healing. From a purely biological standpoint, the morning undeniably represents a golden window of optimal opportunity for male health and physiological revitalization. Your testosterone levels, the cornerstone of male vitality, naturally crest at their daily peak during these early hours, signifying that your body is inherently more receptive and responsive to both mental stimulation and physical regeneration. Concurrently, your blood pressure tends to be slightly elevated in the earliest hours of the day, a physiological state which, while potentially concerning in other contexts, actually serves to prime your intricate circulatory system for optimal action, provided you furnish it with the precise and appropriate nutritional support. When you judiciously consume nitro-rich foods, such as the humble beet, specifically in the morning and, critically, on an empty stomach, your body exhibits a far greater efficiency in converting their constituent nitrates into that vital gaseous messenger, nitric oxide. This gas, as you are now intimately aware, functions as a powerful biological conductor, instructing your blood vessels to relax and expand, thereby gracefully opening the physiological gates for an abundant flow of oxygen, essential nutrients, and life-giving blood to permeate every single corner of your being. This includes, with paramount importance, those intimate regions that so profoundly define your sense of personal intimacy and your core self-confidence. Yet, there is a profound, even more deeply resonant shift I have observed in my patients. When a man consciously inaugurates his morning with such a powerful, self-directed intention, making the deliberate choice to nourish his body with wholesome, vitalizing foods instead of succumbing to the temptation of skipping breakfast entirely or impulsively grabbing something fast, processed, and ultimately detrimental, he embarks upon a remarkable journey of reclaiming profound control over his own health and destiny. It is a fundamental psychological metamorphosis, as potent and transformative as the accompanying physical changes. And for men who have endured prolonged periods of feeling disempowered and disconnected from their own bodies, that singular shift in mindset can prove nothing short of utterly life-changing. I vividly recall one particular patient, a distinguished 72-year-old former Marine, a man of unwavering discipline and quiet fortitude, who confided in me, "Doc, I don't desire a mere shortcut. What I truly yearn for is a mission. I crave a compelling reason to awaken each morning and actively fight for my body once again." We commenced his journey with remarkably small, yet powerfully consistent steps. A simple glass of beet juice, followed by a purposeful 10-minute walk, and then a thoughtfully prepared, nourishing breakfast. Within a mere few weeks, the transformative effects extended far beyond merely improved circulation. He was reporting significantly better sleep quality, a newfound capacity for spontaneous laughter, and a visibly altered, more engaged presence within his marriage. That, precisely, is the extraordinary power that meticulously crafted morning routines can unleash. They do not merely heal the physical body, they serve to profoundly anchor and invigorate the very essence of the man himself. Now, you might reasonably inquire, how long, realistically, does it take before one truly begins to perceive and feel these transformative changes? When do the tangible benefits truly begin to manifest in one's energy levels, one's intimate performance, and one's revitalized sense of confidence? That precisely is the critical question we are poised to explore next, because the actual timeline of results may in fact genuinely surprise you, particularly if you have languished in the shadows of doubt and disappointment for a considerable period. One of the most frequently posed questions I encounter from men when I wholeheartedly advocate for a natural, holistic approach, such as the consistent integration of beet juice, is invariably this: Dr. Ross, how much time must elapse until I can genuinely feel something, until I discern a palpable difference? It is, without question, an entirely fair and understandable query, because let us be candid, when you have endured months or even agonizing years with the dispiriting sensation that your own body is consistently failing you, it becomes profoundly challenging to embrace the belief that something as elegantly simple as this could ignite such a real, transformative change. And yet, time and time again, I have borne witness to this very miracle unfolding before my eyes. In the initial few days of adopting this morning ritual, most men do not typically report dramatic, overt changes in their intimate bedroom performance. However, what they invariably do begin to notice is something far more subtle, yet undeniably significant. A touch more color returning to their complexion, a slightly enhanced mental focus and clarity, and even a perceptible ease in the simple act of rising from bed in the morning. This is by no means a random occurrence. It is, in fact, the nascent awakening of your intricate circulatory system, gently stirring back to life, preparing for greater things. By day 4 or 5, that initial gentle nitric oxide boost begins to steadily accumulate and build. Your blood vessels, previously somewhat sluggish and constricted, start to open more freely and expansively. Many men report experiencing a pleasing warmth returning to their hands and feet, sensations they had long forgotten. Some patients confide in me that they feel genuinely lighter, as if the burden on their bodies, previously forcing them to work so strenuously just to navigate the demands of the day, has been noticeably alleviated. Then arrives day 7. This is, without exaggeration, where matters often take a truly interesting and profoundly encouraging turn. A significant number of my patients have jubilantly reported waking up with their first spontaneous morning erection in months, sometimes even years. And crucially, this occurs with no reliance on medication, no external stimulation, but as the pure, unadulterated, and natural consequence of life-affirming blood finally reaching precisely where it needs to go in abundant supply. And the impact is not confined solely to the physical response. It is accompanied by an immeasurable emotional uplift, a profound sense of "I'm back, I'm whole again," a reawakening of possibilities. By the end of the 2-week mark, a substantial majority of men begin to observe genuinely measurable and consistent improvements, notably stronger and more reliable responses to touch, a more sustained and energetic vitality throughout their entire day, and in many instances, even a beneficial lowering of blood pressure readings, a testament to systemic health. And if you commit to maintaining this beneficial consistency for a full 30 days, this practice transcends mere transient change. It solidifies into an unshakable foundation, a new physiological baseline, a new way of being. I invariably impress upon my patients the fundamental truth that the key to sustained success is not the pursuit of unattainable perfection, but the unwavering commitment to consistency. You are not attempting to forcefully compel your body into submission. Rather, you are engaging in a compassionate act of profound support. And when you diligently provide your body with precisely what it requires, day by day, moment by moment, it will, with its inherent wisdom and remarkable resilience, unfailingly respond in kind. And here resides the most beautiful and empowering aspect of this journey. This profound impact extends far beyond the singular realms of erections or energy levels. Beats are actively orchestrating something far deeper and more fundamentally beneficial beneath the surface. They are profoundly supporting your long-term vascular health, the very intricate system that remains indispensable for maintaining a sharp, agile brain, a strong, resilient heart, and a vibrant, enduring manhood. throughout your life's journey. So let us take this transformative concept one step further, envisioning its ultimate potential. What if this simple, accessible morning habit could evolve from a mere routine into a cherished ritual, a daily, mindful practice that not only significantly enhances your physical performance, but also empowers you to reclaim your deepest sense of identity as a man? In the forthcoming section, we will meticulously explore precisely how that profound psychological and physiological shift occurs and illuminate why its impact is so immeasurably more powerful and enduring than the transient effects of simply ingesting a pill. There exists a profound, almost sacred quality to the quietude of the morning, that hallowed time before the cacophony of the world. The insistent distractions and the accumulating weight of the day begin to assert their dominion. For countless men with whom I have the privilege of working, those pristine early hours transcend their mundane function as merely a time to consume nourishment or embark upon a perfunctory walk. They metamorphose into a profoundly significant moment for authentic reconnection, an opportunity to vividly recall and re-embody who they intrinsically are, and to reclaim something they had, with heavy hearts, reluctantly resign themselves to having permanently lost their masculinity. Now, let me be explicitly clear. I am not speaking of masculinity in the superficial, boisterous, or overtly performative manner that society too often inaccurately portrays it. Instead, I am referring to a far deeper, more substantive manifestation: the quiet, unshakable strength, the grounded, unwavering confidence, the serene knowing that your body, with its remarkable resilience, still fundamentally functions, that it is still undeniably yours to command, and that you still possess the innate capacity to rise in every profound sense of that word. For so many of my older patients, the deliberate act of meticulously constructing a morning ritual around something as deceptively simple as the daily ingestion of beet juice becomes a singular, pivotal turning point in their lives. It ceases to be solely about the tangible physiological improvements in circulation or the gratifying return of firmer, more reliable erections, although these physical manifestations are, without question, of immense significance and value. Rather, it profoundly transforms into a powerful statement of self-worth. It becomes an intentional act of showing up for oneself, a conscious decision to prioritize personal well-being. The act of nourishing your body with such deliberate care first thing in the morning sends an unmistakable, potent message to your entire being. I still matter. I still care deeply about myself. I am still actively fighting for my own vitality and wholeness. And that profound message, articulated not through spoken words, but through consistent, unwavering action, begins its subtle yet powerful work of reshaping your fundamental mindset, progressively transforming you from the inside out. I vividly recollect one man in particular, a distinguished 74-year-old widower, who had spent the preceding few years in what he poignantly described as a quiet retreat. He rarely ventured out, felt a profound disconnect from his former self, a shadow of his past vigor, succumbing to a sense of resignation. Yet, with a newfound resolve, he committed unflinchingly to the morning habit every single day, a glass of beet juice consumed precisely at sunrise, thoughtfully followed by a short, invigorating walk and a few moments dedicated to deep, restorative breaths, a practice of mindfulness. After an interval of just 3 weeks, he contacted me, his voice resonant with a quiet triumph. He declared, "Dr. Ross, I genuinely feel like I've woken up. Not merely physically, but something else, something far deeper within my being has been stirred awake, a forgotten part of myself." That precisely is the profound caliber of transformation we are discussing here, because in truth, the impact of this ritual extends far beyond the superficial concerns of erections or mere blood flow. It delves into the very core of identity, resurrecting a dormant sense of self, a feeling of renewed purpose and engagement. When you consciously initiate your day with such unwavering intention, with such profound self-care, and with such a powerful assertion of personal agency, your body, in its innate wisdom, begins to trust you once more, responding with vitality, And within the sacred space of that rekindled trust, the profound process of deep, sustainable healing truly commences. And there is one final, critically important piece of this intricate puzzle that I feel compelled to impart, perhaps the most pivotal insight of all. Because even with the diligent adherence to this morning ritual, even with the meticulous selection of the correct foods and the precise timing of their consumption, most men, regrettably, still overlook one singularly crucial element. It is a deceptively simple truth, yet one that could signify the ultimate difference between experiencing mere short-term, fleeting improvement and achieving genuine, long-term, profound restoration of their vitality. And that, precisely, is the vital subject we will delve into next. If you have remained with me through this extensive and earnest discussion, I wish to seize this moment to communicate with you directly and personally, not solely in my professional capacity as a doctor, but as a compassionate guide who has had the profound privilege of walking alongside countless thousands of men who, much like yourself, have quietly endured the insidious burdens of unspoken shame, the gnawing frustration of silent struggle, or a progressively deepening sense of disconnection from their own bodies. I speak to men who, in their valiant efforts to cope, have attempted to dismiss their concerns with a forced laugh, to stoically tough it out with a hardened resolve, or have simply and heartbreakingly resigned themselves to the notion that this disheartening decline is merely an unavoidable, immutable consequence of the aging process. But I am here, standing firmly before you, to deliver a powerful and unequivocal reminder. It does not, I repeat, does not have to unfold in that manner. The profound truth, a beacon of hope, is that your body, this magnificent biological vessel, is still listening intently, still capable of dynamic response, and still possesses an astonishing capacity for transformative change, even if the broader world, or perhaps even your own ingrained beliefs, have long since ceased to expect such resilience from you. And sometimes, all that is required to initiate that wondrous ripple effect of healing is one small, yet remarkably steady act of profound self-care, such as the deliberate and consistent addition of beets to your morning regimen. I have witnessed this profound metamorphosis firsthand, time and time again, in men who had, with heavy hearts, firmly concluded that their most vibrant years were irrevocably behind them, only to discover, with overwhelming joy, that their inherent strength and unshakable confidence were not merely echoes of the past, but were still vibrantly alive within them, patiently awaiting the precise and potent signal to reawaken. I do not recount these inspiring stories because they represent rare, isolated anomalies. On the contrary, I share them because they are living testaments to what is universally possible. And if you possess the unwavering courage and personal resolve to take that pivotal first step, not for the sake of anyone else's expectations, but solely for your own profound well-being and intrinsic self-worth, then this deceptively simple morning habit could unequivocally mark the glorious inception of an entirely new, invigorating chapter in your life. A chapter where you finally cease the exhausting cycle of merely managing debilitating symptoms and decisively embark upon the empowering journey of unequivocally reclaiming profound control over your own body and destiny. But let me articulate this with absolute clarity. What we are discussing here is far more profound than a mere routine. It is a fundamental shift in mindset, a deeply personal and resolute decision. Every single time you consciously raise that glass of beet juice to your lips, or thoughtfully sit down to consume a carefully chosen, nourishing breakfast, you are dispatching a powerful, life-affirming message to every fiber of your being, to your resilient heart, to your intricately balanced hormones, and to the very core of your manhood itself. That message resonates with an undeniable truth. I am still here, vibrant and capable, and I still profoundly matter. So I urge you to pause for a moment and genuinely ask yourself with deep introspection, what would it truly feel like to awaken each morning brimming with energy once more, to gaze into the mirror and experience a profound, rekindled connection to your physical body again, to possess the unwavering certainty that the transformative changes you are diligently implementing are not mere temporary fixes, fleeting and superficial, but represent real, enduring, and foundational steps toward embodying the fullest, most vital version of the man you truly aspire to be. Now that we have meticulously uncovered these profound truths, the path forward beckons with clarity and hope, inviting you to begin this journey for yourself.